In today's episode of the podcast, we are going to be thinking about where our focus ought to be as we think about this goal setting process. I am your host, Elle Edwards. I'm founder of the Faith and Business Playground, and I'm here with training, coaching, and this podcast to help you embrace your inner weirdo, to help you be Youier, so that you can help make Jesus CEO of your life and business. And all this week we are exploring Youier goal setting, and next week, of course, we have Reclaim Your Year live. So if you're not signed up for that, I would love for you to come and join us. faithandbusinessplayground.com/reclaim. We're going to work together to create some goals that you actually want to get done, so the second half of 2019 can be amazing. God helping us. And that's the reminder as well, of course, because some of you have heard the story. I was scared out of hell when I was 12, loved into heaven when I was about 25, 26. But it's a journey. And so for a number of years, I was on the internet building different businesses. Since about 2010, I've been doing this work in different iterations. And for a long time, until about I want to say maybe September last year, I would do what we call talking in code. So I would tell someone I'd be thinking of them. What I really meant was I'd be praying for them. It's only been sort of since the second half of last year where God have really finally felt equipped and ready to lead this work forward in a bigger way. And so all of this stuff really is, though, that reminder, it is God helping us. You don't have to willpower your way through the second half of 2019. You don't have to strive and push and, grind. It's about doing it from a place of God is actually in control of all of this. And it's a journey. That's a conversation for a whole other episode, I think. This idea of Jesus being the CEO. Okay, so what we're going to do today then, God? The idea, and this is by way of example, the idea for next week's Reclaim Your Year live extravaganza came, I'm calling it a divine download. I went to bed thinking, okay, I want to do something for my League of Brilliance coaching community, and then thinking, okay, what are we going to do? And I woke up with everything laid out very clearly, step by step. I believe wholeheartedly that was from God. And so, yes, of course, I had to do the work to set up the tech behind the scenes, and I recorded a video, and actually behind the scenes, proper stuff, you re-recording the whole of this week's episodes. I usually record about a week ahead of time. I usually record them on one day. I actually did, at the time of recording right now, I did this week's episodes yesterday, but they were the basic content was the same, but it didn't have the call to action for next week's Reclaim Your Year live, for example. And so I was faced with the choice, right? Do I try and sort of re-record bits? And I felt very clearly God going, nah, just start over. It's all good. And then I was thinking, yeah, but I've got this to do and that to do. And God was going, look, it's okay. You've got this. I've got this. And that's the really important piece of that. And it leads me to the verse that I've got for you for today. It's from Matthew 6, verse 33. And Jesus is saying, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. But I left out a key word at the start of that sentence. In my translation, at least, I'm reading it from the NIV, it says, but seek first his kingdom. Now, I love it. Anytime a Bible verse has a therefore or a but or some sort of joining word, I always like to look back at what came beforehand. And in the previous verses, it's Jesus saying, look, don't worry about what you're going to eat. Don't worry about what you will drink. Don't worry about what you're going to wear. God knows that you need these things, but seek first his kingdom. And the reminder that I got very clearly from that but is that God's got it covered. He knows what you need. Our focus, if we focus on seeking first his kingdom, and what that means, this idea of kingdom living is a big conversation. There's a whole other episode in itself. But I guess the short kind of 2-minute version for the purpose of today's episode is really about that leading from Jesus. The kingdom. I think it was Spurgeon said that a little bit of faith will get you to heaven. A bigger dose of heaven. A bigger dose of faith will bring heaven to earth. And I feel like I'm maybe not doing complete justice to poor old Spurgeon, but never mind. But the essence of that is, yeah, okay, I prayed and got my seat in heaven. What I say, scared out of hell when I was 12, loved into heaven when I was 25, 26. And this work that we're doing together now, of being Jesus's hands and feet and arms and loving on people on his behalf. That's what it means to be seeking first his kingdom. So every day we get up, God helping us. Like I told you earlier on in the episode, that we haven't got to do this by our own strength. We're getting up, okay, Jesus, what are we going to do today? How are we going to love on people today? Who are we going to love on today? Focus there, start there, and God will provide the rest as well. Now, how this relates to goal setting, in case you're going, yeah, but what's that got to do with goals? It does relate to goals, because sometimes when we sit down and think about our goals and what is it that we're going to work towards, and like I say, I will guide you through that process next week. It's going to be fun. But we start by thinking about what would day-to-day life look like? How will I show up each day? Where will I be? Who will I be with? If we do that process with an eye to furthering the kingdom, bringing more of Jesus' love down here onto earth, you're not going to go far wrong. And so I guess the encouragement really is that you can't get it wrong. God helping you, there are no right or wrong answers. As I always tell you, I personally believe that to live slap bang in the center of God's will, you simply need to show up and be the person that he created you to be. So if you can get to the end of the day and go, yeah, I fully embraced God helping, I fully embraced what it meant to be me, full to top with his love, then you are already living slap bang in the center of his will for you, regardless of what that looks like in terms of specifics and details. So this episode really is about encouragement. It's about reminding you that you can't get it wrong. The nitty gritty, the details we're going to do next week. This week is really just about hopefully encouraging you to give it another go, because you can't get it wrong. God knows your heart. He knows where you're at. He knows that you want to make an impact for him. And if you're feeling a bit like, I don't know what that looks like and I'm not sure, I would point you back to yesterday's episode where I reminded you that God knows. So ask him. If you're not sure, ask him. But more than anything, really, just that reminder, you cannot get it wrong. God is with us step by step, side by side, alongside you, and he will course correct as well. He's done it to me. I'm sure you've got examples from your life as well, where you go off in one direction and then you feel those nudges in a just sort of like little course corrections. But this is where my voice is about to go. You can tell I do these live and on the fly. There you go. Bit of behind the scenes real life stuff for you. But no, be encouraged. You can't get this wrong. God helping you. Seek first his kingdom. God knows what you need. Everything else, he's got it covered. He knows those plans. And a reminder, if you're not signed up, if you want to join us live and get the nitty gritty, faithandbusinessplayground.com/reclaim. I'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to be thinking about those things that you're passionate and excited about and how that relates to God, how it relates to goal setting. But that's tomorrow. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.